we're going to be reacting to an IGN article about Street Fighter 6, which had the headline, this headline: Street Fighter 6 devs have no current plans to make any major adjustments to system mechanics, which is a pretty big deal. I feel like a lot of people were expecting either maybe not system adjustments, but at least a major patch with Ingrid, because they've said every character was touched, I think. So people were kind of hoping for system adjustments as well. And it seems like it's not coming. But also next year, people are, and I am hoping for a Super Street Fighter 6 for the 40th anniversary. But maybe that's not even gonna come out. I don't know. So let's read what they have to say. We're just gonna jump to the questions and stuff. So IGN starts with, you all previously confirmed that there will be no future World Tour updates, at least at this point, but also indicated that Street Fighter 6 is aiming for a 10-year lifespan. Can you talk a little bit about what kind of things that you're planning? What kind of things that you... Wait, that makes no sense. Huh, that was just spoken English. Planning on adding to the game to keep that life cycle going, apart from just new characters? That's a good question, because 10 years is a long time, and if there's no more... Like, it looked like the game was slowing down, so this is a good question to reassure people, I guess. So Matsumoto says, to take a step back real quick, one thing that we do want to make clear is in this interview is that there may have been a small misunderstanding in terms of the future plans of Street Fighter 6. Oh god. Rather than there being a 10-year life plan, like a 10-year roadmap, from our perspective, we try to tackle Street Fighter 6 as a game that could last up to 10 years. And there's no sort of confirmation that this is going to be a 10-year project. Rather, we went into the development with the mindset that we would love to have Street Fighter 6 operating and expanding for 10 years. So I just want to make sure that's clear. So that's what I seem to understand from the first interview, was that the 10-year thing was like it was when they were making the game initially. That was the idea, but it's never been like an actual roadmap. So that's a bit scary. I feel like, yeah, I do want the game to last longer, because if Sakura comes in the game next year and then she only stays in the game for 2 years and then we don't have her again, it's like, I'm gonna get mad if I just start speaking about Sakura. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So Nakayama says, in terms of what we want to do moving forward from here, there's a lot. Specifically, details that we can share at this moment is going to be quite specific details. It's going to be quite difficult in terms of World Tour. This is something that we wanted to continue expanding upon, but besides from that, there are other things that we are currently looking into, and hopefully we'll have more to share at a later date. To me, this indicates that for the 40th anniversary, like this year, that they're taking a step back on World Tour. But for the 40th anniversary, they'll like have a new thing to replace World Tour that won't take as much development time and stuff, probably. So it's safe to say that the future of single player content is still bright. Nakama says, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that we want to do. Certain things are out of our control. Just because we want to do something doesn't necessarily mean they can be realized. But we hope that we can deliver, and there's a lot of new players. So we hope that we can accommodate those players' needs, people's needs. Yeah, this says to me, they want to do something for World Tour, but management has yet somehow to give them the resources they need, the people they need. Because like the problem with Street Fighter 6 is that the costume cadence is extremely low. character, they should be at least one more character per season. Like Capcom absolutely has the manpower to do this, but Capcom is also putting out so many games. Like they've put out just in 2026 alone, I think it's been Requiem, Monster Hunter Stories 3, Pragmata. There's going to be the new Onimusha in September. Like there's so many AAA games that they just don't see the value, I think, in putting that much resources into a game that's already out. But Street Fighter 6 is doing crazy well, especially in Japan. And so I think Nakayama here is saying, like, with all these new players, we hope that management lets us do what we want. But it's crazy that apparently it's still up in the air. That's wild. With development resources presumably being freed up from not having to do World Tour content, yeah, that's not going to work like that. For every character that comes out, do you envision there being a change in either the frequency or the offerings of the DLC in the future Street Fighter 6? So that's a very good question. It's not going to happen. That's not how... They're freeing up World Tour to put people on other games. Everybody works on RE Engine over there. So people are interchangeable, like they work on multiple things. And they have to, because they're the only people, like, almost the only people that can work on RE Engine. So let's see. Nakayama says, so to clarify, while may have been people working on World Tour in the past, and just because those people's, I guess, bandwidth may be freed up, doesn't necessarily mean that they could easily transfer those resources into something completely different. Because the World Tour development required a completely unique skill set. Sorry, my English is dog shit. And those skill sets may not necessarily transfer over to the content creation of other things, so it doesn't necessarily equate in that sense. I think that's a bit of a... yeah, that's just... basically World Tour people work on cutscenes and stuff, and they're gonna go work on other Capcom games. I think he's right, but he's also like... it's a bit of a dumb, like, if the people that worked on World Tour move over to replace some other people working at Capcom on, I don't know, Onimusha, for example, and then which frees up Onimusha, some of the Onimusha load, which then some Onimusha devs can come work on Street Fighter 6 for, like, it's Capcom is a big studio. There's like thousands of people working there. There's a lot of flow. I feel like, I don't know, in a literal sense he's right, but I feel like we're kind of dodging the question a bit. Speaking of other content, I know people have been really excited about the new costumes. Yes. Now I know that when Ingrid was introduced, there were jerseys for all characters, but are there any plans to sort of maybe focus on new costumes or bringing more outfits to the characters anytime soon? And whoever is speaking or asking these questions on IGN is doing a great job, because that's literally everything we want to know. Nakayama says, Nakayama-san says, I should say san, I'm sorry. Yeah, so we do plan to deliver and create outfits and costume in an equal amount for all the existing characters, which is stupid. We have a high quality benchmark, that's stupid as well, that we're trying to achieve and make sure that we reach that. So we hope that we can get by the patience of players out there, but this is something that we're striving for. So essentially no. His answer is no, we're not going to make more outfits. I'm going to comment on everything because I have stuff to say, but the high quality benchmark thing, that's bullshit. I'm sorry, but that's bullshit. It is definitely way higher quality than what they were doing in Street Fighter 5. But the reality is that they have to make this in-house, these costumes in-house, because it's RE Engine. And there's just not enough people working on the Street Fighter 6 team to make those costumes. You're not gonna tell me they like making 5 costumes a year is all they can do. Like, you have modders making costumes, maybe some less of lesser quality, but some of like pristine quality on Nexus mods that make that stuff so fast. And yeah, you're not gonna tell me they can't do more. They can, they just don't have the money and the people. So this high quality benchmark thing I'm kind of annoyed with. And also making characters, so basically what they're doing is they're making outfits for every character, the same amount of outfits. Whereas Street Fighter 5, you know, you had like some characters that would sell more, would get more outfits, like Chun-Li, Sakura, you know, Ryu. Like, some of those characters would get a lot more outfits than others because those outfits would sell. I think that's better than to just like essentially every, so it's part of their season pass model now, but like every season needs, every character needs to at the end of the season get outfit 3. So that's a lot of, that's four costumes, plus then there's this summer costumes, which is like usually 4 costumes as well. That's about it. Like, there was once the Zangief robot costume or whatever, but that was done like once or twice. I felt like, I don't know, they could do so much more with that stuff, and it would drive so much more interest as well. So not a great answer here, I think. So we're getting to see Yasmin here at EVO today, but the remaining DLC characters of this spec are all new to the series, and thus we don't really know or have an idea of how they will play. Could you give us a little tease of the archetypes, or just generally how the Arjun, Bosch and Tifa will play in Street Fighter 6? Nakama-san says, so in terms of the fighting styles and what you can expect about their playstyle, we can say that they definitely feel unique and different from the existing roster. Arjun is a very unique character that's going to feel very different from everyone else. I mean, can't go into specifics, but I will say that there will be some kind of dancing elements to his gameplay. Dancing elements. Okay. Arjun looks weird, but you know, yeah. Yasmin looks to be really cool. Arjun and Bosch, I really couldn't care less. Arjun might be cool, I don't know. Bosch, I'm like, if they make Bosch cool, that's a huge tall order. Like, if you haven't played World Tour, you don't know. But this guy is such an annoying prick. Like, oh god, I hate him. I don't know why he's getting in the game. But yeah, in terms of Tifa, he did speak. Oh, so that's IGN speaking. He did speak on this previously at SGF. Yeah, okay, we know all this already, so I'm not gonna go over that. Okay, and for Bosch, for those who did enjoy... Wait, who's speaking here? I'm not sure. For those who did enjoy World Tour, yeah, okay. He was one of Luke's disciple, and while you were able to fight against him, and you were able to see his fighting style through World Tour, he will have a completely different style. Yeah. Thankfully. I know when previously we spoke, there weren't any plans to introduce new mechanics before you're pretty happy with how the game is now. It seems like the player base, at least in the West, is wanting some changes to the drive system, specifically Drive Rush. Are there any plans to sort of tweak that particular mechanic, and how much do you take player feedback into consideration when you do balances and patches? So to go a little bit over Drive Rush and the drive system, my main issue with Drive Rush personally is the freeze when on Wake Up. So when you're on Wake Up, someone drive rushes in your face, there's like a tiny window when you cannot press a button, essentially. Well, like you're locked out. I don't like that. That's like my main issue with Dry Rush, is the whole, it locks you out. Without that, and I know why that's there, right? That if that's not there, some other things have to go. But like, if that's not there, I don't have a problem with Drive Rush. I think it's fine. I think people are, I don't know, people are overly critical of this thing. I just remember the SF5 days, you know, we had nothing. There was no mechanics. Like, it was so bare bones, and I was having fun with it. But like, Street Fighter 6 is so much more interesting to me, so much more complex. And yeah, the system mechanics definitely homogenize the game a little bit, but characters have so much shit. Like, I don't know. Yeah, when you can have characters like Ingrid, I feel like Dry Rush is fine. I don't know. There's maybe some small stuff you can change, like throw loops are a big discussion. But I wouldn't say anything game breaking. So Nakama-san says, so in terms of any sort of major adjustments to system mechanics, the drive system, as of now, there's really no plans to make any sort of changes. And to answer your question in terms of how much we listen to user feedback, it is something that we do pay attention to. We see people make comments on social media, and I don't know, surveys and whatnot. And that's something that we do listen to. And while we do take into consideration, okay, we have a pretty large battle team. A large battle team? You do? Do you? To actually analyze those requests and test through those several battles. Yeah, okay, they can Q&A essentially. Yeah. Okay, let's not go over the team size again. Matsumoto-san says, and not only that, we also pay attention not just to pro tournaments, but also casual tournaments, kind of like influencers, or the new challenger tournaments maybe, stuff like that, and we make decisions based on the wide spectrum of how that could affect things. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, fair. I don't have much to say about this. Yeah. If Dry Rush changes, I'm fine with it. If it doesn't change, I'm fine with it. What I want is more characters, more costumes. That'll be good. Bringing things back to Yasmin for a second, I think a lot of people are really excited about this character because of the Filipino representation. That's one thing actually, before I continue the question, I find a bit cringe personally. This whole characters being your country, so you're like proud of it or stuff. Like, I don't know. Street Fighter has always had that thing of like going everywhere and stuff, but I feel like it's better when it's not like a marketing thing. Like, she's Filipino, that's great. Why do we have to just focus all the attention on that? And it feels disingenuous, if that's a word. It does, yeah, it feels fake. Make her Filipino. She's Filipino, great. Why do we have to, you know, talk about it so much? It's like it removes the authenticity to it, in my opinion. And it continues. I think visually, Yasmin's design seems to pull from a lot of different aspects of Filipino culture. And the area itself... Oh, okay, Philippines. I know some people were speaking about how her hairstyle seems to be inspired by the hawk, or the eagle, or even the flag. How they turn it upside down during wartime. Is all of that correct? I didn't even know that. That's cool. That's actually a cool thing, if that's true. Is all that of that correct? And how deep did you go into bringing these little details to her visual design? Nakama-san says, so yeah, we're definitely paying attention to some of the theories and the hypothesis made by the players out there. Actually, Yasmin compared to her. But with Yasmin, even though they started off as setting up a schoolgirl in the Philippines, they did a lot of different attempts to see what could actually work for her character design. He's not really answering the question. He's saying again that she's supposed to be the protagonist of season 4. She definitely feels like it. Japanese manga, yeah, she's a shonen. Like I've said in my reaction to her gameplay reveal, she's a shonen character. She really is, and he's really confirming that here. This character pack is all new characters for Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 6. This will be the last question. And I was just wondering, from the development side, in your opinion, do you enjoy the process of creating a character from scratch for a game like Street Fighter 6, or do you like the challenge of taking an existing character and molding them into the kind of the Street Fighter 6 mold? What the fuck are these questions? Okay, so it's also a very good question, kind of dodging a bit the actual question, which is, what the fuck are the legacy characters? But you know, let's see. Nakama-san says, yeah, so they're both difficult in different unique ways. Obviously making a brand new character is difficult, but in terms of how we determine what past characters are, the game system of the game, okay, that we're working on is so important, right? Like Street Fighter 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all have very different game systems, and sometimes it may not work for certain characters that appeared in a past game to come into a game like Street Fighter 6. We're gonna talk about that. But by creating new characters, we feel like they're able to kind of expand the world a little bit. They have an unlimited amount of budget and time. They'll continue to try to bring everyone back. Oh, and if they have if they have unlimited amount of budget and time, they'll continue to try to bring everyone back. But yeah, we do what we can. So characters that wouldn't fit Street Fighter 6. I feel like Makoto would still fit Street Fighter 6 very well. And Sakura, obviously, I mean, Ryu fits it, so Sakura would as well. And I know people could say like, oh, another Shoto. I'm gonna keep talking about Sakura, I'm sorry. Another Shoto, etc, etc. She's boring or whatever. Like, you don't have the right mindset about it. Like, Sakura could be so interesting. She could have a whole dark Sakura side to her. She could, like, you can do so much with the character. She doesn't have to be Ryu, you know, 2.0. Like, and not that I want, like, there were rumors that Sakura would like have long hair and you know, get away from the Ryu style and stuff. I don't even think that's interesting. I feel like it would be even more interesting if she followed even more so into Ryu's footsteps, and because of it would like fall into the same traps and have Dark Sakura be even more important and stuff. I think that would be really cool. But like, all this to say, you can make any cool character you want out of her. I don't think anybody, I mean, maybe some people, but like, I think most people that like Sakura likes her because of the character, visually, personality wise, and not so much because of her gameplay. Like, I mean, I love her gameplay, she's my main, but I'm certainly not gonna be pissed if they make her more interesting. And I don't know, I think, yeah, what was I talking about Sakura again? I don't know. I think she needs to be in the game. All this to say that I'm annoyed, but yeah, Yasmin looks cool. Yeah, that's about it for this little this big. How long was that? 30 minutes. Jesus Christ. This big thing, IGN article. Cool, some cool stuff. Overall, really scary. Everything that was said goes against what people want, basically. No more costumes than what we're getting. Is what I'm understanding from this. No more characters than what we're getting. World Tour, they want to do stuff, single player stuff, but they still don't have a green light. Yeah, 10 years is probably, maybe not 10 years. It's probably going to be more like Street Fighter 5. Except the game keeps on growing, so who knows. But yeah, bit scary. But that's about it for this big reaction to this article. Interesting article, very good stuff, IGN. And yeah, let me know what you want me to react to in the comments. And until then, we shall move on to the next one.